How can you be a content machine? You see, I get a lot of emails where people say like, Benji, you're so great. You put out so much content. How do you do it? And other than me being so talented, so brilliant, I'm going to show you how I put out so much content and get everything else done.
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue. It is something you are.
I've gotten a lot of emails where people say like, hey, how do you put out so much content? And how do you just keep up every single day sending out videos and all this stuff? What do? Do you have like this huge machine? Do you have a ton of people working for you? And I'm going to show you what I do in order to put out all this content. And it's not as difficult as you would think. It's actually very easy. So I split it into a couple of things. First, I split it into writing and then everything else. So I split it into a couple of things. First thing that I do is I write the script, and script meaning not word for word, but basically bullet points of what I want to say. So I figure out, here's what I'm going to talk about, here's what I'm going to say, and I literally write it down. So I have it here in my phone and it's on Evernote, and I just write bullet points. So I'll write it down, and I'll do this either when I'm at an airport, or sometimes I'll literally just sit down for a day and I'll just write out all this content. And what I mean by writing out content, I mean I'll literally spend all my time doing nothing but writing. Literally saying, okay, here's what I want to talk about. Here's the bullet points. Here's the things I really want to say. And I'll come up with 30 of these or more. I have a huge list of ideas that I can just choose from in Evernote, but I'll choose a couple and then I'll say, all right, let me just sit down and write about these things. And I'll usually do this when I'm at an airport or I'm on the airplane flying to an event. And the reason for this is just so I can use my time wisely instead of just sitting at an airport doing nothing. But I'll literally spend a few hours just writing. I want to mention something. I actually have an entire calendar that lays out everything for the month, actually for the entire year really, but I basically know by looking at the calendar, I can say, okay, this month I need this many videos, the next month I need this many. So I know if I create 32 videos, I'll have an entire 2 months worth of content. So that's how I look at everything, because I have it all set up. So I sat there, I looked at, I need to create 32 videos. I write out the scripts for the 32 videos. I have it all in my phone here in the Evernote. So I say, okay, the bullet points. As I'm recording this, when you see the cuts, the reason why you see the cuts is because I'm doing this. I go, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so beautiful, I'm so beautiful. And that's essentially what I cut all that stuff out when you see the cuts. That way I can remind myself what to actually say coming up. Now, once I've written out the scripts, and I've done this at the airport, or I literally just sat down for an entire day for several hours, just written all the bullet points out. Now it comes down to the actual filming. So I know obviously when I'm going to do an event, so I say, okay, we're going to film on this day. And when I film everything, all the videos. I can get 2 months worth of videos in a day, in a few hours. And that's just because I just crank stuff out. Once we get one video done, bam, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. So I just crank stuff out. Now once the videos are done and once everything's recorded, now it comes time to do the editing. So the editing gets done, then we upload it, the uploading and all that stuff gets done. And at that point, when the editing and uploading are happening, that's when I'm writing the emails. That's when you get the emails from me saying how brilliant you are, how amazing you are for reading these emails, and how we were handing out Lamborghinis just because when you get all these emails, I'm sitting there, I'm writing those emails as everything's getting edited and uploaded. And once everything is good to go, the written, filmed, edited, uploaded, and now it comes down to scheduling. So now just go on to WordPress, schedule everything out for the entire month or 2 months. Go on to Aweber, schedule everything out for a month, 2 months. And this whole thing, I mean, literally what you're seeing now, I probably recorded this like when I was 5 years old. I mean, that's what we do when we schedule stuff. We really schedule stuff way out in advance. In 3 days or so, 3-4 days, we pretty much have 2 months worth of stuff all planned out, all scheduled. And by we, I mean me and then one other person who will do stuff for me. I mean, not like everything, but they'll do stuff for me. And even before I had this other person, I would still do all this in a few days. So it's really important that you get your workflow set up and you know how you're going to do things, because when you get focused on how you're going to do something, you can easily accomplish it much faster. Whereas it looks like I have a whole team doing all this stuff, and really I don't. I'd prefer to use a team to actually book events and do that side of the business. But I don't need a whole team. You don't need a whole team. You just need to plan out everything that you're going to do. And I want to point something out. I don't have those little things that those dumb little things people have. Kids. I don't have those dumb little things running around, so I don't need to worry about kids running into the camera, and I don't need to worry about that sort of stuff. I want to point this out because no matter what you do, whether you have a spouse, whether you have kids, those dumb little things, no matter what you do, you need to figure out what works for you, what workflow works for you. I can get all this done in a few days because it works for me. I mean, this is literally what I do for a living. I don't have a different job. I make plenty of money doing this stuff. And so all I need to do for a few days is just make these videos, schedule everything out, good to go. And then for the rest of the month, the 90%, all the other stuff, I'm pretty much getting on stages and doing that side of the business. You need to figure out what works for you. If you got a job, you obviously can't spend an entire day just writing videos and then filming the videos and then editing. You can't spend all that time doing it. You got to figure out what works for you. And if you have those dumb little things called kids, you can just kick them and just say, "Get out my face, you little thing." But really, when it comes down to building your business and building your content machine, you just say, all right, here's the things that I need to get done. You plan it all out, and then bam, you do it. Oh, and one thing I forgot to say, actually, completely forgot, is I literally just started using Trello. Trello. And what I do now is I have a content pipeline on Trello. So I have these blog ideas. And what I did is on Trello, Trello, you can just sign up for a free account. What I did on there is I have a list of blog ideas. I just put all my blog ideas in there. And I created another board for working on. So once I say, okay, here's my blog idea, I have all these ideas. Now I say, I'm going to choose this one to film. And once I decide which one I'm going to work on, I drag it over into working on. Now I drag that over into needs to be filmed. So once I've written the script out and I've written the bullet points, I drag it over into needs to be filmed. Once it's filmed, so once this video is done, I'm going to drag this title over, and it needs to be edited. Once it's edited, I drag it over and it needs to be uploaded and then needs to be scheduled. And I have all of this, so it's like the content pipeline on Trello. I literally just started doing this today, technically, but I just want to point out that you need to figure out what works for you. So if you're building out your content machine, just think about how your daily schedule works, and then bam, get on it.